Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Talkin' Habs, Saturday Hockey Talk Live, where we talk about anything and everything Habs, hockey, and life, with your host, Rick Selly. Go Habs, go, and let's talk hockey. The road to the 25th Cup is under construction. Hey everybody, I'm Rick.
I'm Matt.
And welcome to Talkin' Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, so it's Saturday Hockey Talk, and we have, I don't know, there's not a lot going on in the hockey world in general and Habs world. As you saw by the thumbnail, there's the interview with Dom Ducharme, where first time he's talking to the media since the firing, and he takes a couple of jabs at Montreal, nothing horrible. And I think he makes a couple of weak excuses for his performance, and then a couple of valid points in there too. I think he's valid on a couple of things, but it doesn't change the fact. Anyway, we could talk about that. I plan on doing a bit of a video on it. I have some stuff if you guys want to know about it or what's going on, and we can also talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, because it's summertime and that's the way it is. Let's see who's here. Oh yeah, there it is. Daryl Adams. Daryl says, Rick, keep up the great work. Thank you. You think Habs, by the way, I hope, will pick up some more players before the season starts, and who do you think should go and they should go and pick up? I know that they've said, Hughes has said that he's I don't know how to put it. I don't know if it's willing or looking to make changes, but I mean, I think if there's changes that make sense for Montreal, they'll do them. Do I know that there will be? I don't know. And who? I don't know. Matt, you got anything on that?
I mean, not really. We just kind of see what happens when or if it happens.
And besides, we don't really know. Like, I could tell you, oh, I'd like them to get this guy and that guy. I don't know what they're working on, and so I don't have any ideas on that particularly anyway, to be honest with you. So I'd rather react to what they do on that front, because I don't know how you're going to pin them down on anybody at this point. Mm-hmm. Kenny B, how's it going, buddy? What a poem. That's great. I put up Habs Fans Lament, I think. That's from, I think 2 seasons ago. So, yeah, I'm glad you like that. Habs Guru. Hey, buddy, I hope you're recovering well. Guru broke his ankle and has a plate and 9 screws or something in there right now. So he's recovering. And so I hope he's recovering well. Larry, the cable guy, get her done. Hey, Larry, heard some of what Ducharme said. Not good. I think it's a little bit self-serving on his part, personally. Not really wanting. I mean, what's he going to do? Come out and say, I wasn't good enough. I'm not a good coach. Oh, yeah, there's a team that's going to hire me now. He's not going to do that, but, I don't think he was 100% honest with himself or with us. Stand a man. How's it going? Gabriel, how's it going?
Gabriel, BL, how we doing?
BL. Your attendance is much improved. Why does he look different? You shaved?
Oh, probably because I've been on.
Oh, you've been on the last few. Izzy, hey Izzy, baby. It is bad when Klingberg signed 1 year, $7 million with Anaheim. Yeah, the market is probably not there. Look, guy wants money,
and a lot of teams that are competitive right now don't have it.
And you know what? He'd have been better served probably signing really quick. But he waited, and now I don't know the teams have the money. So, yeah, listen. He'll play. He'll get another contract. He might have to sign 1 year deals till the cap starts to go up. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's exactly what this is. Look, this was him basically signing a deal to go to a team like Anaheim, where he can. I honestly think it's an opportunity for him to get even better. Because Anaheim, I don't think they're really going to do much. He'll be in a place where he can just kind of work on his craft, and he'll help some younger guys. But this will kind of be his season to kind of, all right, I have my 1 year deal. Let's play this season. Whatever happens, happens. Then next year, I think, next year he'll be open to get that that long-term deal.
Also, if I'm right, I don't know that he had his best season. I don't know. Well, maybe it wasn't a great season to be trying to bank an 8-year contract or 7-year contract out of, right? So maybe he felt better off to play one more season or play this season and see if he can earn more money for the next contract. But I think it's partly to do with the teams don't have the money for that kind of term and money. Now the Quebec media has Huberdeau and Dubois coming home to play in their home province. Yeah, it's called clickbait. I mean, what are they going to write about? They want you to click on the articles. They want to sell subscriptions at a time when it's, there's not a lot going on, so they got to make it up. I mean, that's basically what it is. I think on the video I did yesterday with Suzuki being the 9th worth contract, why would they put him there? Right? To me, it's clickbait. You put a name on there that's controversial, that shouldn't really be there from a big fan base, and you're going to get a lot of people clicking, and from that, get subscribers and shit. I don't see any other reason why would Suzuki be on that list? It was, was really stupid anyway. So, I just think that Huberdeau and Dubois both come on. Montreal's not spending that kind of money on them. They're not trading for Dubois.
Not yet. I mean, they can't, and they're not in a position to. Exactly. 2 years from now, I think there's a possibility that one of them comes here.
Yeah, but
I don't see why not.
Timed. But it's got to be well timed. It's not the right timing for either of those guys to be coming here. So it's not happening.
Yeah. I mean, 2 years from now, right? If the younger guys really kind of gel and they come into their own, and in 2 years from now, we're in a position where we can go, all right. We had one piece here and one piece here. We could be, we're going to be in the playoff mix. Exactly. Then that's when a guy you could go, and that they'll probably both be, unless.
Dubois should be available, but
Dubois will be a free agent.
Huberdeau
he's going to be a free agent next season unless he signs long term in Calgary. But again, I mean, that would be the time where you.
And what kind of money is going to be? What kind of money is Huberdeau going to be looking for?
Right.
At his age, he wants a long-term deal. That's not a contract Montreal needs to sign, or do we even want them to sign? Do we want to see Huberdeau here? Sure, it'd be nice. But the guy's going to be looking for what, $9 million? He's 30. Again, that's just another contract to say in 4 or 5 years. Oh, it's a horrible contract.
But I mean, if he's still putting up, 95 to 100 plus points like he did last year, then
for a couple of years, it'll be a good contract.
Yeah.
And then it'll quickly become another bad contract.
Right.
Right. So they're trying to get out of those bad contracts. I don't see themselves signing new bad contracts so quickly. Hey, Joel, how's it going, Joel? The fact that Ducharme still has not acknowledged his failures based on his madness of doing the same thing over and over again confirms his firing as the right move. There's definitely some truth to that. That's what I think. And look, he made some excuses. A couple of them were valid. Like he said, there was a point where teams that had 5 guys out with COVID, they had games canceled. And then Montreal had like 10 guys out with COVID and injuries, and they were down like half the team, and they still played. I mean, that's valid, and it is. But there's no context to that, right? I imagine some of the teams that had guys out or 5 guys out and didn't play, maybe it's because the other team they were playing was canceled. So they, some of that was going on. I don't think it's all against him. But I mean, it's a valid point. They played some games they shouldn't have been playing. I'll give you that. But he made some excuses about they didn't give him a chance once the changes in management were made here. And he would have liked an opportunity to give them his vision of where the team is going and blah, blah, blah. And then he said if he knew that they wanted to lose so many games, that he would have made different decisions, played the young kids more. He was trying to squeeze out as much as he could. To me, that's bullshit, because by the time Hughes and Gordon and Hughes got here, the season was over. He was making horrible decisions. And I don't think all of those COVID games where they had so many COVID guys out with COVID and the injuries, I think by the time that happened, he was already coaching horribly, because if you remember, Matt, at the beginning of last season, we were expecting good things. And then how wasn't that long in that we were
2 weeks in?
question about the coaching, right? The questions were really early on about, is it coaching? Well, it turned out it was. And any excuses he makes like that to try to deflect that is exactly what Joel's saying, is that he's not admitting his failures, but making excuses for what happened. And I don't buy into there's an odd one here and there. He's right, but it doesn't tell the whole story. That's what I think. Okay, let's see. A bunch of comments jump by me.
Hey, Kenny.
We'll get to Kenny in a sec because we got some before. Do you think Philip Machar makes the lineup for opening night? I don't. I think Machar plays in the OHL.
Yeah, me neither.
It's good. Maybe I don't think this year for Machar personally. He could have a great camp because I think he could be in camp and then sent to the OHL. If he has a great camp and they have to keep him, maybe I don't know. Hey Kelly, you had your wisdom teeth out on Tuesday. Ouch. Yeah, that's no fun. Yeah, I want to say, did I never had to have them all out like that. So yeah, that hurts. Speedy recovery. Imagine you're off work for a bit for that. So that might be a good thing for you. Even in the playoffs, we played better without Ducharme. Caufield had his best series against VGK at the same time when Ducharme had COVID. I don't think we would have won that series if he coached it. I wouldn't go. I don't know. I'm not going to go there on that. But so interesting you mentioned Caufield. So one of the questions asked him in this interview with The Athletic, people saying that he cost Cole Caufield the Calder Trophy. He said it hurts him when he hears that. Caufield had a slow start and he spiraled and blah, 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 blah.
I have a hard time.
Caufield would he have had a slow start and spiraled if it wasn't for the coach? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with that because I mean, look, right away, St. Louis steps in. Cole Caufield's
no hesitation
flying out. I mean, he's flying around the ice.
Yeah. 22 goals, 13 assists in 37 games under St. Louis. 1 goal, 8 assists in 30 games under Ducharme. Yeah, I mean, Ducharme just making excuses and he's rationalizing it in his head, and it's not right. He definitely cost Cole Caufield the Calder
without a doubt.
I don't think you can even argue that. Do I see Ducharme getting another coaching gig in the NHL? Maybe eventually. I think he's got to go elsewhere to coach for a while and work his way back, personally. I mean, you just knew by the players after the change. The players told you everything. It's fun to come to the rink again. It's all the stuff they said. It's not.
I mean, just look at the on-ice product, for God's sake.
But I mean, the players didn't like the coach. It's obvious from what they said. So what they said was not like, oh, he was a great coach, but we just like Marty St. Louis better, and we're going to play like it doesn't work like that.
But no, and that showed in the on-ice product too. I mean, granted, we still stunk, but I mean, how much more enjoyable was it to watch the team under St. Louis? But they actually, kind of competed a little bit. They showed a little pizzazz. Caufield was flying around.
It was a different
Suzuki
team.
Flying around.
It was a different team, and it's not because Marty was playing the kids. It's not the reason that it was a different team. It was a different team because the coaching was better.
Players were coaching philosophy.
It was just, I mean, it wasn't a different team because, well, now we know he knows to play the kids. The rookies, the rookie young kids, they made the difference? I don't think so. Coaching made the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Well, can he be? Well, I say, oh, yeah, because you're back in from earlier. So, hey, buddy. But I did acknowledge your earlier comment. Chicago Steve. Hey, Chicago Steve. Sorry, just her. You don't have to be sorry if you turned into a her. We understand how everything's going these days, What do you want? She and her for your pronouns now? Just joking, because you wrote it's a typo. I don't know. Okay, seems risky to sign big ticket items now. They're not going to. It's not even risky. It's not about that. It's just why you're rebuilding. You know you're not going to make the playoffs next year. You're
Yeah.
not expecting. Why are you bringing in big ticket items? Right? That's Dubois. And why? Why would they do that?
Right. No, exactly. That doesn't make sense right now. Those moves make sense when management feels like the team's in a spot where they can go, all right, we had a big ticket guy here. That'll push us to where, okay, we can
Right.
we'll be in the playoff contention, wild card spot, whatever it is.
I don't even think for playoff contention. When they're making when they want to make that next jump from making the playoffs to being in cup contention.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think that's when you start to bring in the really big ticket items. I also think they're going to be developing some big ticket items right here on the team. So they're not.
Well, and right here in Boston, in BU, in Lane Hudson.
No, but I'm just saying they're in their own organization.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be developing some big ticket items. They got some talent there, and a couple of those guys, a few of those guys, are going to be some. There's one or two or three elite to superstar kind of players here in development. So it's when they know they're ready to make that push. That's when we're going to see it. I don't think before. I scrolled and she went all over the place. BLS. Kadri, any guesses? I'm hearing Islanders. That's the rumor I've heard. Obviously, we're back to Colorado.
Thing is, I don't think Colorado can afford it right now. I'd have to look at cap friendly, but I don't think they can afford to bring it back right now.
They would have signed him already if they could, right? You would think?
Yeah, I think they'd have to make a trade to free up the money, and with what he's kind of asking for, I don't think they're going to be able to make it work. I like the Islanders. I think I've heard the Islanders a lot. I think that's probably where he ends up. I don't really know what other, teams would, because if I'm him too, I'd want to go to a team, a competitive team.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I said, with so many teams right now get up against the cap, I don't really know if there's really another team where you could say, all right, here you go. They're in that kind of place.
Well, maybe he does a Klingberg and signs a 1-year deal. Maybe that's why Klingberg did that. Signed a 1-year deal, put it off for a year, and try again next year. I mean, the money's just not there, or the money and term together aren't there. Obviously,
I mean, you could say maybe Calgary's an option. They have the money. They also kind of need that 1C now. So you can suck Kadri and have Huberdeau on the left, and I forget the other winger on the right.
I'm scrolling all over the place. I realized I went back for that one. Hang on, I find one. Luke Richardson coached his way into the Blackhawks head coaching job based on his work when they beat Vegas to get into the Cup Finals. They won in spite of Ducharme. Honestly, Larry, I don't know that that's 100% true. I think I think Luke Richardson was thought of very highly as far as him being a head coach in the NHL in the future. I think it just cemented that maybe, that he handled it as well as he did. I think eyes were on him already. And I think that's I think and that's the first opportunity, I guess, that presented itself for him. Any news on Price? Nope. When there is, I will definitely do a video. Hey, C-Mac, how's it going? Been a while. Hope all's well. Larry said it's pretty much a fact that there, so that's an unfinished comment. I don't know where he's going. What line will Slavzilla start on? I mean, that's a good question. What do you think? I think depending on kind of cap he has, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really kind of just want to see him on the first line. I don't know. I just want to see that on the ice just to see how it is for like a game. With him, Suzuki, Caufield.
I think there's a possibility. I think he could start anywhere from 1, 2, or 3. It depends on the camp he has. It depends on exactly the players that are in camp and how it lines up. because maybe it works out better that he doesn't start on line one to start because of the guys that are here,
Right.
and it's his first. He's 18. He's a rookie. Yeah, I don't know. I could see him starting anywhere, but if he has like an awesome camp, he's lights out. Yeah, I think he'll start on first line at that point.
No,
So
100%.
That's how I see it. Slavzilla and Anderson should be on the same line. Well, Nonaby's going to be on the first line. So, but yeah, if he starts on second line, you might have a second line of Slafzilla, either Dvorak or Dak and Anderson. I think that's how it would be.
Can you imagine since if it's Slafzilla, Dak, and Anderson? Be a hell of a line to play
against. Some big boys out there.
It's the California Redwood line.
Geez.
That's what their average height be what, like 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, would be 6'3" and just a little bit because Dak's 6'4", I think, and the other two are 6'3". So just a hair over 6'3", and that'd be crazy. As a line two, think about that too. As a scoring, talented line two, that'd be amazing. The size and the skill level. Gabriel says, I don't think he'll get another head coaching position as Ducharme. Big reason why he was an assistant here in the first place is because he spoke French. I don't know about the assistant, but I think if they were thinking that he could be the guy that could take over, then yeah, you're 100% right there. I just think it was a case of a guy that just wasn't really ready for the job and got put in there at a time when he got kind of lucky with the way they performed in the playoffs. I don't see how that could have been his system or anything like that, because he even said he hadn't had time really to put in a system yet, which he did at the beginning of this past season, and we saw where that went. So, I just think he got kind of lucky, and then he couldn't produce. I think in the right place at the right time, and then when push came to shove, he had no push. But yeah, I mean, his Frenchness, obviously, if they were thinking he could take over as head coach one day, well, yeah. It's fact that the cup run canceled a lot of problems that manifested itself last season. I still think the biggest loss was Deneau. Well, I don't know that. How do I want to put that? I think they lost a lot after the cup run. So when you couple that with losing really key guys, and then having a coach put in a system that nobody could understand, that's what you saw last season.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention their offseason was only, 3 weeks? A month?
Well, no, but they had a very short offseason, which all cup finalists have, but they had an even shorter one. So that had a lot to do with it. But see, those are things that Ducharme can legitimately look upon and say, well, that didn't help me. No, it didn't help you, but it's not the reason that the team was that bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In my opinion, I think our biggest loss, and Rick, you might agree with me, you might not, but I think it was Carey Price. I really do. Just in terms of leadership and the stability on the back end, I think Carey Price, was the biggest loss.
Well,
personnel-wise.
I mean, if Carey Price would have been able to come out and play the way he did in the playoffs, then yeah. But I think in terms of leadership, I think Shea Weber just as important.
And I don't disagree with that.
Carey Price, huge loss, without a doubt, huge loss. But I mean, just they lost too much. Bergevin didn't replace it, at all. Because when you look at the guys he replaced them with, who was good? Nobody. Perreault, Paquette, David Savard. Then there was what? They were missing somebody. There was one. There was one that was actually okay. Who am I missing?
But I mean, well, there's Rem Pitlick.
No, but no, Rem Pitlick Gordon picked up when he got here. So no. So they didn't replace anything that they lost. And they lost a lot of they lost important guys. And yeah, So, he can point to that, Ducharme, and say, yeah, this is but it's not, doesn't tell the whole story. That's the problem. It doesn't.
I think you're forgetting Mike Hoffman.
And again, Mike Hoffman at times was effective, but not for long periods of time. Mm-hmm. And his most effective games wasn't it near the end when they hooked him up on the first line in the last 10 games and he started to play well and they put up points and stuff. I think that's so. Yeah, I mean, the replacement guys did nothing for us last season. And I mean, if you're going to lose those kind of guys, Dvorak was a good one. But I mean, that's a little different. He replaced KK. I don't care what you say. Dvorak replaced KK. I know there's
100%
controversy there, I think. But anyway, so if you're going to lose those kind of guys and then you replace them with nothing, I mean, it is kind of and the coach puts in a system because you can't say this too little. He puts in a system that clearly was confusing and the players didn't get and he didn't communicate well. And then you got what you got. So did I babble a bit there? I think so. Anyway, Sorry about that. I don't even know who I was answering. Keith Green, hi, because I don't know if I've seen you before. It's just a name is going, okay, I haven't seen this guy. Welcome to the channel. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But if I'm right, welcome to the channel. He will never coach again in the NHL and should just shut his mouth and say, thank you for the millions of dollars. He was the worst coach the Habs have ever had. He's up there with the worst. I just think his system was clearly confusing to the players and they did not like it. And I think that was the biggest problem of why he lost his job, why the results were what they were. Okay, Chris asks us, Matt, what are your favorite sports teams, or is it just purely Habs? You go first because you got more than I got.
Well, being from the Boston area, the Pats,
it's not the Bruins. He doesn't like the Bruins. He doesn't like the Celtics, and he doesn't like the Patriots. It's just he's pulling your leg.
Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots.
Oh, I left out the Red Sox.
The Revs, which is our MLS team. Manchester United in the Premier League.
You like soccer. That's true.
I do love soccer. And in college sports, Notre Dame, and in Boston University, in UMass Lowell.
So in other words, just if it has Boston or Massachusetts in front of it, he likes it, because that's like the gamut. You didn't talk about the roller derby.
You don't have roller derby. Well, we probably do, but.
All right.
I do also like the San Francisco 49ers a lot.
I
throw them in there too.
I like the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh yeah, the Montreal Canadiens too.
I'm trying to think what other sports teams that I go for. I'm not a big. I used to love the Expos. But they're gone, and I just don't follow baseball anymore. So that would have been my other choice. I don't have a team in football, Canadian football or American. I don't watch soccer. What else is there? Yeah, so that's it. I mean, everything else would be an individual sport like golf or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Kenny, I enjoy boxing, MMA, wrestling. I enjoy that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
You got ahead of me there. I'm still behind. The PLD and Huberdeau rumors coming to Montreal is tiring. There's no reason right now, and the Habs will not make the playoffs for a while. Yeah, that's basically what we had said already. Will PK come back to Montreal regularly? because he still does charity work here with the hospitals. Will Montreal Canadiens sign PK Subban? No. I will go out on a limb if that's going out on a limb on this and say no. What say you, my young co-host?
What was the question again? I wasn't paying attention.
Will PK come back to Montreal?
Oh, I don't know. I actually kind of heard he's linked with the Canucks a little bit, but I mean, I don't know.
There's a few rumors out there. Who knows? I've even heard he might retire. And he's got too many. He's got a lot of.
He's got a good gig at ESPN.
He's got a lot of irons in the fire and a lot of different things, and so apparently he does want to come back. So we'll have to see. Renegade Man says Lane Hudson could be ready in a year or two. I think that would be quick. I think the guy's got all the talent in the world, but he's got to grow a little bit. And I think I could see, and he's a defenseman. Yeah, a little longer than that. I was thinking when I had thought about 3-4 years, I can see him here in 3, maybe 4. But I think it'd be good on him if he gets here in 2. It'd just tell you what kind of a talent he is. That's what I think. Chicago Steve, do you think we could accidentally make the playoffs and miss Bedard's shot completely? I kind of doubt it. I really kind of doubt it. But, with COVID, and combined injuries, any team could get hit like that. And if you get 3 or 4 teams in our division that do, then maybe they make the playoffs. But I personally think that's about the only way. I like this team. I like what they're building, but I don't think they're going to make playoffs for a couple of years. What say you, Matt?
I wasn't paying attention again.
These young kids, it's so hard to get these young kids to pay attention to anything longer than 10 seconds. Hey, what? Amazing. So the question was, do you think the Habs could accidentally make the playoffs and then miss their shot at Bedard?
Nope. Yeah. Not happening.
Yeah, I really...
Not happening.
Like I said, other teams would have to really freaking shit the bed. And more than one. I mean, the Leafs are going to do that. I don't think... I could see the Leafs and the Bruins kind of not making the playoffs, but I think there's still... You got Ottawa that should be better than Montreal. I miss that, but there's teams that are going to be better. Detroit, so we'll see, but I don't think so. Where am I? Didn't Hudson decide to go to college to play? Yeah, he's going to Matt's neck of the woods.
Sean Farrell, too, because Sean Farrell, I think, is going back to Northeastern, right?
Yeah. Sean Farrell's back in college this year. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's why anybody.
I love college hockey. I love being here because I'm in like the heart of Hockey East. So I watch so much college hockey. It's not even funny.
Anybody thinking
I'm hyped to watch both of them.
Anybody thinking Sean Farrell is going to make an appearance next? He won't even be at camp because he can't. He's going to be in college, so we won't see Sean Farrell till maybe the following season.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know a lot of people think Farrell, they put him in their lineup list and all of that. How? He has to leave college and not go back for that to happen. Let's see. It did help Richardson's cause. I'm missing you on that one. As the Vegas thing. Oh, it helped his cause. The Vegas coaching, without a doubt. And I've always said this, and I think I may be wrong. I said Richardson, I mean, he was basically coaching Ducharme's system and all that, but I mean, he wasn't. He was coaching. Maybe Ducharme had a big say in what they were doing, but Ducharme hadn't installed a system yet. So, I think Richardson probably got that, got people looking at him again. I don't know what to say. Samuel saved the Canadiens in 2018. Who's Samuel? Do you know what that means? Oh, Samuel, that's Samuel Adia. Sam, are you doing like that's a serious thing? Yeah, you rarely give me any serious questions. That's all. And there again. Apparently we've been connected to Oilers, Jesse Puljujarvi, rumors only. Sorry, can't spell his name. Rumors only. I don't think any of that's serious. I don't think so. Besides, I mean, I guess that stunt he pulled before, maybe he's not in favor still, but he did okay there. Why would they want to get rid of a guy who can score a little bit? And if he can't score with McDavid, what are you going to do over here?
This is true. This is true.
Suzuki's contract is all right. I don't see why people get stressed out for it when it doesn't affect their life. He's still young, and his production last season showed it. And besides, last season he was on his ELC still, so his contract, he was great for his contract. It's a story. Was in the Athletic. It was written by the Athletic. He's a stats and advanced stats guy, and he writes the odd story. Personally, I think he added Suzuki to get clickbait out of that. That's the only
honestly reason. Yeah, because I don't see how that's a bad contract right now. I mean, look, he keeps adding 20 points on his point totals. If that follows, he's at 80 points this year, and then 101 points, and then so on.
Their explanation is it's based on projections for next year.
Yeah.
So how are your projections that bad for Suzuki next year? It's not possible. And if your projections are that bad for him to say that's a bad contract, then you don't know your hockey and you don't know how to figure these things out. That's what I say.
I mean, if he's a stats guy and then he needs to get another job. I mean,
maybe. Or it's clickbait. Habs are the biggest fan base in the world. Put that in there. You're going to get a lot of people clicking. And then from that, as I've said, you get a certain amount of subscriptions from that. And that's what their whole game is. That's what their whole game is.
No, because I mean, just his production alone. I mean, he's every single season he's getting better. I mean, granted, the 2 seasons before this prior season were the COVID shortened seasons, but he went 41-41, then he hit 61 last year. I mean, he continues on that pace and keeps producing more and more. I mean, he could be a 90-point player.
Without a doubt, but I don't know how their projections can be that bad to say. I mean, I guess they're saying if he only produces 61 points for the 7 or 7.8 million, it's not going to be good. But
I mean, he produced 61 points on the last place team in the league. You put guys. This team gets better, and he gets. These guys can gel with each other.
I would ask that same person how much he would think that if Montreal would get and be able to sign Dubois, how much they would pay Dubois. And I bet you the guy would say somewhere along the lines of what Suzuki's being paid. And then if you look and say, how many points did Dubois produce for that? Guess what? 60.
Yeah.
So then how is Suzuki's contract bad? Samuel, don't keep repeating everything over and over again. That will get you kicked out without hesitation. Have a Nation doesn't like the nickname Slafzilla. I do. I'm not going to use Slafsquatch. I'm not saying that right. Slafsquatch. And there's a big reason for it. Habs Tonight came up with that apparently. And they're selling T-shirts. Slafsquatch. I'm not using that. Nope. You'll never see that come out of my mouth again.
Oh, gotcha.
You guys can use all you want, but on this channel, it's Slavzilla. It was the post about they were able to hide their issues during their cup run and losing to no with a huge loss. I pushed a wrong. Oh yeah, I knew that. Don't worry about it. Slavzilla, Dak, Anderson will be horrific for other teams playing against them. Yes. I mean, I wouldn't think that Slav will be on that line for long, but I think there's some good chance that he'll be playing with those guys. Hey, Jerome. How's it going, Mr. Sheepherder? Just checking in. Hope all is well. All is well. Hope the same for you. I don't think Danault was a big loss. Yes, he is good defensively, but we got someone just as good defensively and much better offensively in Suzuki. Well, wait a second. How are you putting Suzuki in here? Anyway, okay. Danault, no, listen, Danault was a loss, and probably more so than we thought. Look what he did in LA. He had pretty good numbers. He had good performance. Mm-hmm. He was a loss. We really could have used his although Dvorak was good on the faceoff, but anyway, I think he was a loss. I think he was a loss that we couldn't help anyway because he wasn't signing back here, so it doesn't really matter. They just didn't replace him. Because you can say Dvorak. No, Dvorak was a replacement for KK. Yeah. Anyways, I think Danault was a loss last season. But considering everything and all, it didn't really matter because it wasn't just Danault. Jerome says, I do not want Dubois on the Habs. He's a prima donna. I agree. I don't want a guy that keeps wanting off his teams. Okay, I'm going to scroll a little bit to see. Shea Weber, 59%, Price, 41%, responsible for Habs' success the last few years. Yeah, that's fine. Drake, why are you putting up Alsner? I don't want to see that name, Alsner. Why would you do that to us? I'm not sure why you're saying Alsner. If the Habs want to get one of the big names, they will have to clear a lot more cap space. As it is, they need to sign Dak before anything else. They'll sign Dak. I wouldn't worry. But, yeah, they're not going after any. They got to move money. If they're going after, they got to move money. Unless they hear about Price. If I imagine that's why Daryl Adams or somebody was asking me about Price. Again, if they know Price won't start the season, he goes on the LTIR. Their cap issues are history for the moment. And if he has to come, if he does end up, I'm healthy now and I got to start, then they get back into cap hell because people will have to move. But if Price is out on LTIR, their cap isn't the problem at that point. If Price don't come back, are you comfortable with the goalies we have? Yes. I'm not if we're looking to be a contender for the cup. No, but for what the next 2 seasons will be, I'm happy with those 2 guys. Yeah. Happy Nation, I don't know why you're saying worst. I'm sorry. I don't know why you're saying that. Happy Nation likes the Bills. Kind of random there. Any boxing fans in the room? So.
I enjoy boxing.
We're not speaking of soccer, Larry. No, that was Matt brought that up, not me. Hey, Matt Greer, how you doing? I hope I'm having a good night. I hope you are too. I read a sports writer saying Slav is going to start in the minors. They are crazy, right? Yeah. Again, clickbait. He's not starting in the minors. If he doesn't start with the Habs, he will start in Laval. I do not believe he will start the season in Laval unless he has a horrible camp. Other than that, he's starting in Montreal. Will he stay in Montreal? I mean, I don't know. But if he doesn't, he'll go to Laval. Matt, will you watch the Anthony Joshua versus Usyk rematch August 20th?
More than likely, yeah.
Habit Nation says, in his opinion, which isn't a very good one, but they can. Sorry, just bug you, buddy. They can make the playoffs if they get PK and PLD. Yeah. Like Habit Nation, I don't even. I wouldn't know how to really say anything about that except to laugh very heavily. And I don't want to insult you like that, but are you serious? You think all that's keeping them from the playoffs is PLD and PK? Like, really? Yikes. Okay. I don't think so. What do you think, Matt? What do you think on that?
No, it's well. First of all, they don't really have a stable goaltending situation. Number one. Number two, they. I mean, you can't look at this team on paper or on the ice and tell me they're like one or two guys away from being a contender. That's just silly.
Not a contender. Make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs? Yeah, again, I think you got to give the young guys. Young guys need to develop, but I think you also need to give, especially on the front end, Suzuki, Caufield, and potentially Slafkovsky. They still need to gel a little bit. They need to get They need to get a full year under St. Louis too. Like, I really want to see this full season, see how that goes. But the back end needs a hell of a lot of work too.
Yeah, they're not
just one guy. I mean,
that's not good enough on the back end to make the playoffs. I don't think either.
No.
Yeah. Now I'll say this. They can make the playoffs if they get PK and PLD, and Toronto, Boston, Tampa, and another team fall out of the playoffs. Then yeah, I think they could make the playoffs that way. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. If the top 4 teams bottom out, then I think they could make the playoffs with PK and PLT. That's what I'm saying. I like busting Habination's chops because he can take it, and I like the way he dishes it back out. BL says Habs, Cowboys, Tiger Cats, Raptors, Blue Jays, Newcastle United, Montreal Impact, Notre Dame in the NCAA. All but one of those teams are teams that Rick doesn't watch. I think that's where he's going with. Don't you think that's where he's going with that? No, I think that's where he's going with that. Or he's saying, like the old Sesame Street, one of these things doesn't belong here. No, it's not one of those things. Did you hate Michel Therrien? Yes. First or second or both runs? Both, as head coach of the Habs. I'm sure he wasn't well liked in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I was never a Therrien fan, to be very honest with you. Just not. I know there are some guys like Therrien. Yeah. Yeah, I never see a defense so soft. They're the softest defense. How do you say that about your own team you just got hired to coach? I don't know. You want Matt to show up and Pat what? And
pay attention.
Well, it says Pat attention.
It's a typo.
Yeah, but if he wants you to be perfect, shouldn't he be? No? You're not even paying attention to that. Yeah, just be honest.
No, I heard you, boys. Yeah.
700 man games, lost, no price, no first line center. If they replace that, they're in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't agree with that. There's teams ahead of them they got to pass as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I don't think they look. I don't like the Leafs. I don't think the Leafs are going to fall out. I don't think Montreal's better than the Leafs.
No, me neither.
Not yet. So no, I don't think you're right. Those would all be good things to change, but I mean, I don't think that makes them. I mean, could they make a run? If those things happen, could they be like wild card contenders? I guess so. They could, I guess. I think there's 4 or 5 teams that are better than them at least in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Still seeing some people saying the Habs should trade Anderson over the summer. That Anderson talk's fallen off, though, Kelly. I find the Anderson trade talk's fallen off a lot. He isn't going anywhere.
No, me too.
He's not going anywhere, and at least, for the time being. But he's not going anywhere. And the rumors, that's fallen off a lot. Marquez St. Louis will make Anderson better player, make the whole team better player, Kenny. I think, but you're right. I think so. I mean, how often do you get a rookie coach like that comes in half a season? They didn't really do that much, and yet you can feel confident to say that he's going to make these guys better. Not a lot. Pittsburgh won the cup after Therrien was fired mid-season. I remember that. Tells you something, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Richardson was the glue in the playoff. Ducharme was new, and Richardson was known. I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's Richardson that is responsible for all that. I mean, I think the players, the most responsible for that run, were the players themselves. I just have this feeling that that's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Sean Farrell is the same age as Kirby Dach, a player going into his 4th year in the league, I think Sean will have much more productive pro career. Yeah, but Renaud, I would expect you to say that. And I don't think you're 100% right because I think Kirby Dach's a year or two older than Sean Farrell. Because they weren't in the same draft. Were they? No, they were a year different in the draft. A year or two. So 7.9 for 61 points. Who did that? That's
he's talking about PLD.
He didn't get 7.9 last year.
No, but like that's like what he. I don't know. He's talking about Suzuki.
I think he's talking about Suzuki.
I know you're way behind because I'm reading.
Yeah, I am a bit behind.
I am
behind. 20 minutes on, less than 20 minutes behind. I'm sorry. I try to get to everybody. I'm sorry. That sounds like he's talking about Suzuki, but Suzuki didn't make 7.9 yet. That's this coming season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even look. 43 watching. Oh, awesome. Let's get some likes in here, people. Give a like if you're having a good time. What 7.9 for 61 points? How do you say that? He was on a ZLC, so they paid $863,000 for those 61 points. And we don't know how much he's going to deliver in points for that 7.9 that he's making next season, not last season.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, was Claude Julien forced to put KK in the lineup during his rookie season? If he was forced, it was by KK's play. Do you mean, did Bergevin? I guess, I don't know for sure, and I guess it's something you could speculate because of the situation and everything. I don't know.
To say, I think at the time we were kind of. We've always been hurting for center help, but I think at the time, I think it was. I think just in terms of the personnel we had, I think it kind of forced Claude Julien's hand.
I think there was probably some pressure by Bergevin, and KK played well enough for most of that year, probably to somewhat, if not fully, deserve it. I want to say. But I would think, sure, for Bergevin, kind of made him look better that KK had the full year and played and everything. So yeah, there's probably some of that. Dvorak and Anderson would have been a decent trade to the Jets. No, and would play with Connor. I wouldn't be willing to send. Are you talking about Dvorak and Anderson for Dubois? Why would you want to overpay that much? That's what I don't get. Why is that? I see trades where we're sending 5 pieces to get Dubois. For what? For the 61 points he put up. But people are putting Suzuki down for his 61 points. Don't understand. A computer spit out, what's that, 7.9 for 61 points? But then the computer lied because he hasn't gotten paid 7.9 yet. So if you're looking at 7.9 million, that's 7.875, really. Do I know what he's going to get next season? I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. Computer lied.
Mm-hmm. But look, again, just on the eye test alone, and looking at Suzuki's ELC numbers, for right now, I'm pretty confident in his ability to add on to that point total.
I'd like to know what do people see that makes them think that he'll do worse than last season. I don't get it. Kid's going into his 4th season. He should still be getting better. He might have an off season here and there, like everybody does, but in general, he should still be getting better. So I don't know how they're projecting him to be getting worse. I thought the whole Suzuki contract thing was a total joke on the part of that writer. I don't subscribe to The Athletic because it costs too much. I don't subscribe either, but I don't think it was a total joke. I just think he inserted Suzuki in there for clickbait, personally. Oh, 7.9 for Dubois, he's saying. Yeah, so there, 7.9 for 61 points for Dubois. But yet, if Suzuki delivers that, it's a bad contract. Is Dubois on that list for bad contracts? No. I don't get it.
That's a good point.
And Dubois only getting 7 this year, not 7.9. I don't know what he got last year. I don't think he got 7.9 last year. Do I have a beef with another channel? No. Not that I know of.
Not that I know of either.
I know we said something about it, but I don't think it was nothing about a beef. I don't know that I have a beef with them. Are you talking about Habs tonight? No, it's nothing. It's nothing official or anything like that. It's a personal thing. And it's not jealousy. It's just a personal thing. Never understood why Claude was fired, given all the... by the way, if they're like another Habs channel, I don't want to be doing all the same slogans and stuff they're doing. It's just not really a good look for my channel. Never understood why Claude was fired, given all the effort he made to prop up KK on the ice and insulate his poor skating, face-off woes, and defensive lapses. Protecting KK caused with too many men. Claude was fired because, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the results from what Ducharme did, I don't know. Probably been better off to keep Julian. They wouldn't have been worse. And Julian might have done better in the playoffs in that cup final against Tampa. He might have.
Yeah. I mean, we'll never know, but yeah.
He had the experience. At least he had experience there. Where,
exactly.
So, anyway. Habination. I don't hate the other channels, but I'm not a fan of Habs tonight or whatever they call themselves. I don't know what they're called anymore. I'm not really a fan. I don't watch anybody anymore, but that's a different thing. Renault, you're saying that all the too many men penalties that we had that year were KK's fault? Show me the stats to prove that out. Otherwise, I doubt that's true. I doubt that's true. Habs tonight has, that's and Nick Lemire. Yeah, not my favorite people. And that's not even the reason why I don't like him. It's another, and I don't really feel like repeating it because I've said it all before. I'm not going to go and repeat it. It's in the past. I'm moving forward. And it's not even a big thing. It's just a personal thing. What's the latest on KK? Is he going to be another Galchenyuk and bounce from team to team, showing flashes but not consistently good play? Yeah, with that contract, he's not bouncing from team to team for the next 8 years. KK is going to be I still hate to call him a bust, but man, he's trending that way. he's overpaid, and he should have been the young player on that list of bad contracts. KK's contract should have been there, not Suzuki's, because that's a bad one. I don't know if Huberdeau wants to play for the Habs. He likes those. He said he has. He likes those Florida taxes and could play for the Lightning on a decent contract to stick it to the
lack thereof, Florida doesn't have a state tax.
Yeah. Huberdeau has said he wants to play here. It's a good point, though, about the taxes, because you got to figure if Montreal's going to be able to sign him, they're going to have to pay him more than another team would have to because of the taxes.
Oh, yeah.
So, even, again, not happening. Could the Habs land a steal in a Dvorak trade? Again, hard to say because I could come up with 100 trades maybe. Doesn't mean that's something they're going to do. I mean, I don't know. They could, I guess. If a team's really shit hot on Dvorak, maybe you can pry somebody out of them. But I really don't think Montreal wants to trade Dvorak. I think Dvorak is really good insurance for Dak. To have him here in case Dak stumbles a little bit. I think Dvorak's great insurance for that. One of Dak's weaknesses is his face-offs. So you kind of want to have a guy like Dvorak around because Dvorak was good on the face-offs last season. He always is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Okay, Renaud, I don't really feel like talking about KK. It's like what are we talking about KK for? If you want to talk about KK, go to a Carolina channel. Talk about KK. Mm-hmm. Slaf won't play in Laval. If Houle is a bad man, he'll go to Erie if he doesn't stick. To Erie? Oh, junior? He's not going to junior. He's not going to junior. And from what I can understand and what I've been able to figure out, Houle's a pretty good coach, a good development coach. I don't think there's a problem with JF Houle. He's not his father, and it's not fair for us to put that on him. If he's done a good job, then he's done a good job.
Thank you very much, Kelly. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Kelly. I'm that far. Oh my God! I'm scrolling and I still haven't hit that.
Oh, I told you, dude. You're way behind.
Well, I tried to. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a bit. Thank you, Kelly. Really appreciate that. So Kelly will be in the draw there. I didn't even mention this anymore. That's how a few of these come in. Kelly will be in the draw for all the people who donate to the channel. I give away prizes. I haven't got everything yet, so I can't just show you something yet. But I do have a puck. One of those pucks I bought, that will go in there, and it's not at hand, so I can't show you. Anyway, if you give money to the channel, you get into the draw for a prize. Okay, I'm going to scroll because I don't even know where I was, and I'm going to scroll down. We'll start here. Wait. Well, do we let this guy go? Do we let this guy go? Listen to this. A Leafs fan, actually coming onto our live stream and talking about our shitty team. Maybe he ought to look in his backyard because the Leafs are going to be the most disappointing team if you're a Leafs fan this coming season. They aren't making the playoffs, buddy. We're not making the playoffs, that's for sure. But you are not. Matt, how deluded do you have to be to say Matt Murray's better than Price?
I mean, you're either a troll or you're, like, insane.
He's a troll.
Oh, yeah.
His mom's calling him up for dinner right now. I can hear it in the background. Yeah, Matt Murray looks like if you blow on him too hard, he's going to fall over. He's the oldest looking 28-year-old I've ever seen in my life. And if you're relying on Matt Murray to win, get you into the playoffs, I wish I could do a really good fake laugh, but I can't. But that's all I could say is just laugh in your face. But yeah, he's upsetting me. Slafkovsky. Wait till Slafkovsky plays against Austin Matthew, Captain Underpants, piece of garbage. Oh, I think he's going to push him around pretty good. I'm not a really good shit talker or trash talker. I wish I was better at that. But I'm better than this guy. So do I just throw him out for like the rest of his life, or send him back up?
15 seconds.
Send him back up to his mom so he can suck on her nipple. Like, what should we do there? Because Habs, Mr. Habsuck, your mom's calling you. She needs you to take care of her again. How do I get rid of this? Take this out here. I favorited it. Oh, I didn't really mean to. What do I do with him? Block
do what you
or
want, man.
timeout? Screw him. Block him.
Cool.
I don't need that bullshit. All righty. I'm looking for a comment. Okay, I'm going down here. Slav needs a lot more development. They have to learn from the fresh KK disaster. No, I'm not falling for your controversies. Hey, Randy N. That's something better. Randy, let's get off this bullshit that we're on. Habs should not go for Dubois or Huberdeau just to be mediocre and make 8th place. Habs need to rebuild for a strong team like Tampa or Edmonton. Yep. Well, we've been saying that. I wouldn't expect those guys here. Another Renault comment. Nope. I don't like the Dangle anymore. Adam Wilde was mean to me. I don't like Steve Dangle because, here, hypocrite. Puts out a post thing on Twitter. I guess he had some trouble with some mental health issues, which is fine. But he's putting out, how he's feeling better and the meds are working and blah, blah, blah. And in his video, he advertises for sports betting. It's a piece of shit. And I told him so in the post. I sent him back like, it's nice that your mental health is good, but, I see you're still advertising for sports betting. Like you don't know that it ruins people's lives, breaks up families, but your mental health is good, so that's okay. Yeah, I don't watch Steve Dangle anymore because he's a piece of shit. Farrell was born in 2001 like Kirby Dack, but was drafted a year later, I guess due to size and height concerns. No. He was in a draft year because that was his draft year. He was not an overager in the draft, was he? Sean Farrell?
No, I don't believe so.
And he was drafted in 2020, wasn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
And Kirby Dack was drafted in 2019, so there's a year difference. And if Farrell's not an overager, then they're not the same age. That channel bought views. I did not buy views. What channel bought views?
I think that comment was talking about Habs tonight. That one came up when we were talking about Habs tonight, or something like that.
Really? I didn't hear that story.
Oh, I have no idea. That's just how far behind you are.
Someone got a new job over there and has more money to buy the views. It's very discouraged. It's very looked down upon to do that. I don't think they did that because I don't even think YouTube likes that. So I doubt that. They got the views because they got the connections to get those interviews and all that. I mean, that's where they get it from. It's fine. They're allowed to do what they do. If Adidas is leaving, it's a good time for Nike to step in. Oh, yeah, that's some news. The Adidas sweaters, they're pulling out.
I didn't see that
pulling out. I think in 2 seasons. I think it's not this year.
Yeah, it's 2020.
2024, or I think 24 will be the last.
23, 24, I think is the last
Yeah,
year.
it's the last season that they're going to be. And then it's going to be another team. So I don't know who's going to step in. That means the hockey guy's going to have to buy all new sweaters. There'll be a new line of sweaters. Renault, like, do me a favor. Stop this. Like, we were talking earlier about clickbait. That's what you're doing there. I mean, that's just clickbait. I'm not going to. Really? I'll tell you what. You have Clayton Keller over Nick Suzuki. You do that. I wouldn't do that. Clayton Keller is a good player, but I'm not doing that. Yeah, but I see Renault's back up. He's like mid-season form on his controversy. But it's okay. He gets me upset a little bit sometimes, but I know he's just trying to get my goat. KK's a winger, doesn't count. He's listed as a center. He played some center for Carolina this year, I'm sure. I think in the playoffs, he was a fourth-line center.
I believe so.
When will we take call-ins? No, I'm not able to do that here. When they if StreamYard ever has that capability, maybe we'd do that, but can't do that I know of. What was that? Oh, wow. This is one. Okay. This I have to show. So Renault's saying to Larry, I can argue Suzuki benefited from some of the most usage and time on ice amongst forwards, and being that it caused defensive problems due to him being tired on the ice. You're saying that you're literally putting Suzuki down? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's time to go. Not yet. Well, I got to the bottom, and then 100 comments just popped up. I literally got to the bottom, and 100 comments just popped up. Jesus. Scooter Batman. There's a name. Feel like we won't get Bedard, but I'd love if we'd be able to get Adam Fantilli.
Fantilli would be nice
next year. Big fan of him. Yeah, no. Well, anyone. Listen, there's 3 players. Can't get Bedard. Then it's the Russian kid. Can't get the Russian kid, and you're trying to get Fantilli.
Oh yeah.
I think Montreal's got a shot to be there to get one of those guys.
I think so.
I think. Matt Murray isn't even close to. Matt Murray can't even shine Price's shoes. Never mind any of that. So it was just some stupid Leafs fan. Not all Leafs fans are stupid. That one was. Renegade says, I agree with you about KK because he's over it as well. It's like listening to the PK for Shea Weber trade. I don't want to hear that shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And yet people still want to talk about it. So are Canadian players like Huberdeau owing taxes to the U.S. government if they play in the States or just with Canada? I don't get what you're saying. You pay taxes where you earn your money.
Yeah.
If they earn money in I imagine there are. See, for hockey players, actually, it's not as bad a question as you might think, because for hockey players, they have to pay for both countries because they earn money in the States and in Canada. So they do have to pay both. So, but my point still is you pay the taxes where you earn their money. So they pay Canadian taxes on the games they play here, and because I believe that's how it works. And if I'm wrong, somebody tell me, but I believe that's how it works. When they sign PLD, then Dvorak is moved or maybe even swap them via trade this season. When they sign, they're not signing PLD. I don't think they will.
Not yet. Not yet, anyway.
No. Matt Murray will end up being your backup, getting paid more than Samsonov. Matt Murray's not coming here.
He's talking about Matt Murray with the Leafs. I said you way behind. Kenny B. Good to see you.
Oh, that does make sense. No, that does make sense because both those goalies are over there. Yeah. But if you want to refer and say "your" to me when you're talking about the Leafs, don't do that. Please refrain. I see Detroit as the most improved team in the NHL this season. I've even predicted based on the moves they made in trades and free agency, as well as the improvement of their young guys. Larry, I think Detroit might make the playoffs instead of Toronto.
I think honestly, I think Detroit and Ottawa could make that jump. I think both those teams right now are in a position to make that jump.
Yeah, you might see Boston and Toronto fall out. 20,179 days since a cup for the Leafs. And counting. I still don't want PLD, to be honest, and we don't need him. Yep. I'll agree with that. Want to talk about Claude because I think he is greatly accomplished coach who doesn't get the respect he has earned by media and fans. That's fine. Just do me a favor. Just go talk about that somewhere else. I like our coach now. I don't care about what happened with Claude at this point. I've given my opinion 100 times, and I don't want to go back there. We've had 2 coaches since then. We do need another top 6 young winger, 22 years old or younger. That's where we got to hope for a good pick next year. Yeah, they've got some building still to do for the rebuild as far as and the best place to do that is in the draft as their top 6 guys. But let's see now. We got one line that's definitely young: Slafkovsky, Caufield, Suzuki. There's 3 guys in the top 6, young. Who else is in the top 6? Dak is young. And then they need the 2 wingers on that side. Got to maybe come from the young group. Who's the young wingers we have here? I can't even think. I don't think we have young wingers.
I mean, Anderson's only 26.
No, Anderson is going to be 27 or is 27. Yeah, we don't have young wingers other than Slav. Habs Nation talk. Yeah, that Habs tonight. That's Dale Weiss. Yeah.
I gotta say though, I love Dale Weiss when he was with us. I liked him as a player when he was with the Canadiens.
I had no problem with him until he lied to me. And I say that I don't have proof, but I know he did. So I'm not putting him down. I'm not slandering him. But I believe he lied to me on camera, on a video, on their channel. Farrell could have been born in 2001 in December, and Dak could have been born in January, and that makes them almost a full year difference, dude. Mm-hmm. Habs Nation, you've been around a long time. I know you've been around a long time. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you're talking about my channel, 12,000 views, 3 comments. If you have 12,000 views and 3 comments, the video is no good. Is that what you're saying? Mr. Bosifas. Been a while, dude. How will the Habs sign Caufield, Dak, and other young players with all these cap issues they are having? They need to get rid of the price. Yeah, well, yes, but they don't have to sign Caufield. He's got a contract for next year. By the time they that new contract that they'll sign kicks in, there's guys leaving to clear up some space. Dak, I don't expect Dak to get much. $2 million for a couple of years. I don't worry about that. I don't know who else you're talking about to sign.
We haven't seen this guy in a while. Good to see you, Joel.
Joel, well, we were just talking to Joel earlier. And the last live stream too. Anderson is 28, and as far as winger, he's 28 now. That's right. As far as wingers in the making, let us not forget Joshua Roy. That's true. You're right. I'm forgetting Joshua Roy. That's a young guy that you never know could make the jump this year, depending on him. I'm sure he's going to get every chance to do it. If I were St. Louis, I wouldn't want Suzuki on the ice as much as possible because he gives the Habs the best chance to win. That's what number one center does. Have a good one, Kenny B. Thanks for being here as always. Dak will sign south of $2 million for a period of 3 years. I think Dak signs for between $2 and $2.5 million for 2 years. Caufield probably signs for 5 years at $8 million. No. Caufield signs for 8 years. Somewhere around 7, a little less than Suzuki.
I like 8 years at 7.5 personally. That kind of in that ballpark.
Well, this is close enough to what I said, but yeah, somewhere I'll say between 7.5, and they can sign Caufield today if they wanted to. It doesn't make sense for either Montreal Canadiens or Cole Caufield to sign a contract right now. Cole could be signing for too little, and they could also be taking a chance that he isn't who they think he is yet. I'd want to see more from him if I'm the team, and I'd want to prove myself a little more so I can get a bigger contract if I'm Cole Caufield. So I don't think they sign him till somewhere around the midway point of next season. Let's see. Joel says the biggest mistake about the PK Weber trade was that MB should have traded PK for a big center. Yeah, again, Joel, I honestly, I so don't want to do the PK Weber trade thing anymore. They're both gone now. I mean, they're both gone. So I don't even know why we got to talk about that. Except when it gets to the point where it's 15 or 20 years old and we can talk about it in a nostalgic way. Other than that, I don't know. I got nothing to add to that. Nothing.
Nick Suzuki.
What? Oh, okay, do that.
Next Captain Canada there.
Who's the next captain? No, it's Nick Suzuki without a doubt. I mean, I made my thoughts known on that.
Suzuki is captain. I like Byron, Edmondson, and I'd probably go Gallagher as the alternates.
Oh, they're not removing Galley's. They're not going to take away his.
No, that's why I put him in there.
Yeah, they're not going to.
I think Edmondson, Byron, Gallagher as the alternates, and Suzuki as the captain.
I somehow you got to get Anderson in there. So, I don't know. I'd like to add Anderson somehow. They're not going to go with 4, and I don't know that I'd want to take away any of those 3 guys you mentioned, but yeah, I don't know how they work that out.
Paul Byron saved a dude from an airplane.
No, I get that, but Byron will start the year on the LTIR.
Yeah, so I guess while he's out, maybe Anderson.
Anderson will wear the A while he's out, and then they'll deal with it how they deal with it, I guess. But yeah, that's how I see it. Uh-huh. Hang on a second. Oh, this one I know. I got to read this one. The players' issue is with government policies up north, and the money is not as important for the high-end guys as some seem to think. I would love to hear how you explain that. I would love to. Okay, this is what I say. If you're saying with the, even if it's language here in Quebec, no. Any free agents that come here are going to make the kind of money that language is not an issue for them here. They won't have to deal with it in any way unless they have kids that are school age and they want to go to school, but then they just put them in private school and they can afford it. So there's no issue there. So I don't know what government policies are you talking about? I'll await your answer. If we draft well this coming draft, our top 6 in 23-24 season could be Slafkovsky, Bedard, Fantilli, Caufield. Putting Bedard and Fantilli, or is that Bedard, Fantilli, either or? Yeah, I guess so. Depends how they finish at the end of this season. Coming. Okay, scrolled. Okay. I'm sorry. I just every time I scroll, I come across a Renault comment that's outlandish.
Hey, this one?
I scroll Renault comment. I can't. No, that I don't want to deal with that. Renault. I don't want to deal with that. Like it's crazy.
See, I totally get where you're coming from, Joel. My issue with Gallagher as the captain is his kind of relationship with the referees. That's really kind of what I think would hold him back from being captain. If I didn't think that would be a problem, then yeah, I think Gallagher's a logical choice. But that's my reasoning.
I'm going to give you another reason why it's not going to be Gallagher. Every single Habs captain in the last, I don't know how long, has been traded away, where we have a captain for a year, 2 years, 3 years, no longer than that. Gallagher would be the exact same thing. They give him the captaincy. He's going to have it for 1, 2, or 3 seasons, no longer. They give it to Nick Suzuki. He's going to have it for at least 8. That's 8. And it gives stability to the captaincy that hasn't been here in the longest time. I saw an argument.
Yeah,
for that.
Since what? Koivu, right?
And since Bob Gainey, I think. Since Saku Koivu.
Since Koivu was what, 10, 11 years?
They say 9, but it was almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why they're going to give it to Nick Suzuki. It's going to stabilize the captaincy, and we're not going to continue to see the revolving door of captains, because I don't think this new management group wants to do that. I think they want that stability at that position, and that's why it's going to go to Suzuki.
Mm-hmm. And also, what the guys say about him in the locker room. I mean, the players love him too.
The players, look, Sherrod. There's 2 players that left last season. Both said Nick Suzuki is captain material. He's going to be the next captain. That came from Sherrod and somebody else. These guys, you'd think they'd have some kind of a better idea of that than we would. So I don't know. I think that says it all. He's going to be the captain. And Gally, you know what? Gally is the kind of character and person, he's not going to have a problem with it. He's not. It may sting, and he's not going to let anybody know that. He'll keep that to himself, and he'll be fine with it. That's the kind of person I believe Gallagher is. So I don't think there's an issue there, personally. Matt, instead of having your head down there, you pick the comments for a little while, because I'm not good at it right now. Besides,
Okay, I was trying to figure out who the other guy was that said Suzuki would make a good captain. I know Sherrod. I think Edmondson might have said something too before he got hurt. I know he's still here.
No, it was somebody that was traded. Who was
Kulak,
traded?
maybe?
Who? No, I don't think it was Kulak.
Kulak?
I don't. It was it was a more senior guy than that. So, who was it they traded? That was Toffoli.
Lehkonen? Oh, Toffoli. Oh, Toffoli. Yeah, I think
it
you
was
are right about
Toffoli
Toffoli.
said it. I think it was Toffoli that said it.
And I think, especially a guy like Toffoli, I think that carries a lot of weight.
Sherrod too.
Sherrod too, but I mean more so with Toffoli, with what he's done in the league and the players he's played around. I mean, I think if he said something like that about you, I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna stick with that, like 100%. He knows what he's talking about.
Yep. And I don't even think it's disrespectful to Gallagher, as long as they, they've had a discussion with him about it and let him know what they're, I don't think it's disrespectful. And I really believe Gallagher's, he's that kind of a character where he's not gonna put up any kind of problem about it. It's Chris Weidman. He's right. It was Chris Weidman. You're 100% right, Scooter. That's who it was. That is who it was. Chris Weidman, I'm getting to like him a lot more. Did you see his explanation for why he gave up his number?
The number? Yeah, I think he's a great guy. I do.
Good. Really, that's leadership kind of an explanation.
Yeah. Like he may get an A. Who knows?
He gave up the number to Slafkovsky to help him feel more acclimated with the team and to let him know the team wants him to succeed here, and they're going to do everything they can to help him feel comfortable here and succeed as a Montreal Canadian and to reach his potential as an NHL player. And that's an awesome reason to be giving up the number to somebody. And it makes me feel a little better about him getting the number 6 that Shea Weber just wore. I don't feel as bad about it. Like, I felt funny. Like, really, Chris Weidman? Probably the dude's probably a better dude than we thought when he came here. And you know what? He's kind of stand up on the ice too. That dude was fighting last year and standing up for people. And he's one of the smallest guys on the team, and yet he's doing that. So, Weidman may be like a better asset to the Habs, and maybe you can see it as an even better signing that they signed him for the 2 years than I thought when it happened anyway. So yeah, I have a lot more respect for Chris Weidman than I did just 2 weeks ago.
100%, me too.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. I kind of like that he's sticking around.
Well, you can see why they would have said, yeah, let's re-sign that guy. You can see why, and that's behind the scenes stuff we don't really find out too often. Did you revert back? Well, let's see what Guru has to say. Have you heard about Michael DiPietro being linked to the Habs? Seen a few people talking about it online. I saw something on Twitter. I didn't really read it. I know who he is. Basically, that's Rick DiPietro's kid, right? And he's a prospect. That's all I know, to be honest. Would you know anything about Michael DiPietro?
Not really. I know there have been rumors off and on, but nothing kind of substantial.
Okay, well, this touches on what we were just talking about. I think at training camp, I think their opportunity was at the draft, and I think now they're going to wait till training camp to announce it. I think if Suzuki's in that first preseason game, they might announce it then, and if not, just before the first game of the season would be another awesome time to announce it. I think that's when we'll find out for sure. But I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Rory makes a good point. Why Galley will be fine if they name Suzuki. He's a leader without the C, and he's the kind of guy that'll handle it well. I really believe that. He plays his game. It doesn't matter if he had no letter, he's still going to play the way Gallagher plays, and I don't think that's going to make a difference. So I'll agree with Rory there. Okay, I hit the bottom, so I guess I got to go back. I agree with Scooter here. Someone put up that Caufield is better than Suzuki. I don't think so. Caufield is a great talent, and he's great, but Suzuki's a more rounded player. Suzuki has a better defensive game. Suzuki is playing center, harder position to play. I don't see how you could say Caufield's a better player than Suzuki. I think they're both great on their own, and putting them together just makes it even better. But if you're gonna have to rate the two, and I put Suzuki up a little higher as far as that kind of thing over Caufield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for comments. I can't find anything.
Be kind of funny.
Oh, did you put something up? I took it off. I'm sorry. Do it again. Surprised the Kings didn't offer sheet Nekash from Carolina with Bergevin with the Kings. Yeah, just because no, listen, I don't think that even Scooter. I don't even think that makes sense to say that because just because Bergevin did it once, there's no reason for him to be doing that again. And if you notice, no offer sheets. I'm not surprised there's been no offer sheets because they don't usually work. They don't usually work, and it causes more problem than it solves in the end. I think teams saw what Carolina did and went, no, we're not doing that. Nope. And because they ended up, I was either lose KK completely and then you really lose face, or they had to sign him the way they did to not have to offer him $6 million as a qualifying offer. So the way to drop that was to sign him long term, and is able to drop the AAV, but it's still a bad contract. So I think with all that, I'm thinking, who wants to offer sheet and have that happen? Be careful who you offer sheet. You may get them. How about Harvey Pinard? It's not a Picard, by the way. That's it's Pinard. Captain Picard. There's your captain, Captain Harvey Picard.
That'd be kind of funny.
That would be funny if that was the name. How about Harvey Pinard as a potential winger this year? I don't think to start the season, there's too many wingers here. If they are able to move some guys out, so like after the trade deadline, I think that's a really big potential. But I think it's too loaded on wing this year. I like Harvey Pinard a lot, and I also think you might be moving out Gallagher first because they're basically the same guy, a younger version and an older version. So yeah, I think when Gallagher, when they finally move him, I think after the trade deadline when they made some room on wing because there's just too many guys ahead of him and too much money in those guys for them to be able to really put Harvey Pinard in there on a regular basis.
Mm.
So there, what do you think?
I agree. I think he's gonna be down in Laval again. I don't know.
To start the season, and then we'll see what happens, anyway. But by the trade deadline, I would think by the deadline, there's going to be some contracts moved out, right? The guys that are on the expiring contracts more than likely are moving at the deadline.
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
There's two wingers right there in Drouin and Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
So by then, okay, but I think till then, I don't think so. This is an interesting one. I shouldn't say our goalies are garbage. That's a bit harsh, but I take almost any tandem over those two. But were you not talking about wanting to get Fantilli? Who was it? If you were, perfect. No?
Mm-hmm.
And I said this many times that if you want to see where the team's going to tank from, It's the goalie position. If you're wondering, are there intentions to finish on the bottom of the league to get hoping to get that opportunity? Look at the goalie tandem, right? I didn't bring in anybody. Carey Price probably isn't going to play much next season. They're going to go with Allen and Monty, probably for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
How are we doing in time? Oh, okay, another 5 minutes and then we'll take off. You see, Happy Nation, if you were saying it the opposite way, I would say I couldn't put that comment up because, yeah, you don't have to call them Frenchies. Please let's not do that here.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They're Quebec-born players. And another reason for that, saying that is, look at Mike Matheson from Quebec, not a French person. He's bilingual, but so yeah, let's not use that term.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Not just because I don't want to get canceled out for using it. I don't really like that term. It's kind of derogatory. Whether I feel like I want to say it sometimes or not is still derogatory.
Oh, yeah.
I read that. I'm bouncing around looking for comments. Go to the bottom again, see if I got it. Hey, Morgan, how you doing, Morgan? For 2 months of the year, Doc and Farrell are the same age. Well, there you go. It's like I said, early, late in the year. Okay. But there's still that year difference as far as the draft. Thanks, Morgan. I appreciate that, actually. The Bruins will join us in Being Bad. Okay. In Being Bad 2, they're all injured and they changed their coach who's been bringing them in the playoffs. Yeah, I think the Bruins and the Leafs, big chance to drop out of the playoffs this year.
Oh, yeah. I've been saying the Bruins are kind of my pick as of right now.
I think the Bruins probably more likely than the Leafs to drop fully out of the playoffs, but I think both of them will.
Mm.
Black people can say the N-word, right? Same goes for French people. Difference here, though, is something. I didn't know you were French either, and nobody's going to know that. So, listen, you want to say it, then say it. I'm not going to read it that way, and I still feel the way I am. I didn't know you were French. Who will Dadonov play with? I think Dadonov could be your first-line left winger to start the season. As Slafkovsky works his way up, I think Dadonov is going to slot in first or second line left wing.
I can see that, yeah. Absolutely.
And Scooter makes a good point. Allen was good last year. It's not on Allen that we're saying that, I think, of the tandem. And I don't even know if that's fair to Monty completely.
Mm.
Allen played mediocre at best. I think that's a lot to do with the team that was in front of him and the coach that was coaching. I don't know that we blame Allen. I thought Allen, most games, was probably the best Hab. Did everything he could. I don't blame him for a lot of that those losses. So I don't think it's fair to say that he was mediocre. Was he injury prone? A little bit. He was overplayed, played too many games in a row, and that's when he breaks down. That is one of the knocks on Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Nation, I did not know that you were French. Honestly, I did not know. So, I mean, you being French, yeah, you're allowed to say Frenchies. I agree with that. But it is true. It's hard to know that from your name. It's okay. Only 50% is enough. My kids are 50-50, so that's enough. Allen was pretty good. The team in front of him was. Exactly, Lucas, agreeing with me. The team in front of him wasn't doing anything. He was hung out to dry a lot of nights. You know, I remember watching the game. I watched all the games. I think out of all his games, 2 games, I know one for sure, it was his fault. And I think there was a second one where you could say that. Other than that, there was not another game where I would have pointed and said, yeah, Allen was bad. That's why they lost. Nope. So I don't put it on him at all. What do you think Petrie's going to do with the Penguins? Hey, Sonny, by the way. What do you think Petrie is going to do with the Penguins? He'll do well. I think Petrie is going to be good for the Penguins. Like, he'll play well there. I don't see why he wouldn't. He's not done yet.
No.
He hasn't shown a drop-off. Last year, that's not a drop-off. You can only say that's a drop-off if the bad part was at the end of the season, but the bad part was the beginning. He finished the season really strong. I don't think he's dropped off, so he'll do well there. Lucas, I think Allen will probably do that, fetch a good return at the trade deadline, or they re-sign him. I think they might re-sign him, or they let him walk. It depends on. But I think if it's let him walk or trade him, he'll probably get moved at the deadline. Yeah, better to get something back than nothing. Monty was like, of course, but I thought Monty started out bad, but man, he progressed all the way through, and I really thought I liked watching Monty play. I have to say, I really did.
Yeah, no, it definitely showed.
It's exciting.
Yeah, he showed spurts of what he can do.
I think he got better as the season went along, and he was playing the last half of the season with a wrist injury. Which he's had surgery and he's recovering and he'll be ready for camp. And Monty's just 25. It's a good point. Renault, Harvey Pinard and Ilonen, I think they've got a chance at some point to crack the lineup. Probably Ilonen more than Harvey Pinard because, like I said, Gallagher and him are the same player, basically. But, there's the season after. They're young guys. They're going to be around.
Am I Irish? No.
That's Matt Irish. No.
No.
You could have been. I don't know. Allen easily outplayed Price. Did you realize Price played 5? Stop it. You realize Price played 5 games, right? Played 5 games, Price. 5 games, and he had maybe one good one out of the 5. Like, what does it mean? Controversies. I felt the goalies half the time were the reasons Ducharme didn't get fired earlier. That's a good point, Scooter. He might have got fired a lot earlier if they played as bad as some of these people are saying.
I can see that, yeah. I think it's possible.
Okay, Renault, that I'm not even going to read that because that has nothing to do with you just want to put the guy down. That's fine, but I don't want to be just mean just to be mean to somebody. All right, we're going to take off. What I got planned for the week? I got a couple of videos planned. I've got a video about Ducharme. I'm probably going to do it. I've got a video about Cole Caufield's contract, what I think it might look like. Yeah, I think that's from everything I have here listed as planned. And they'll do some news and shit, whatever comes out. So I got a few videos coming out. I'll try to be on Wednesday. I was out last Wednesday and didn't get home till way too late. So I couldn't do this show. So we'll have a show Wednesday, Saturday, and a few videos. And we'll be through another week and a week closer to the start of next season. Here, Joel talking about Habs should try to engineer a trade for Spencer Knight. The goalie, I think the goalie is the last thing that's going to be put in place. So personally, I don't see a trade or a need to trade for a goalie of the future until they feel they're ready to start making that push to the playoffs and beyond. And that's a couple of seasons away at best. So, I don't think they're going to do that. Habination, I'm kind of working on that, but I think I want to get a little closer to the actual season or to the preseason to do a lineup. I've actually got to prove that I'm not lying to you guys. I've been working on one. So as you can see quickly, that's the lineup, right? So I'm working on it, but I don't know that I think I want to wait a little bit longer. I think there's going to be some more changes, and it's going to be redundant, this lineup that I might do this thing. It'll be redundant in a week or two. I don't want to do that, so I'm waiting a little bit. Hey, Kelly, have a good night. Quick recovery from those pulled teeth. Have a good night. Thanks for being here, eh? Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for the dono.
And yes, thanks for the dono. I'm sorry. I'm brain dead. Okay, I think that's it. We are going to I'm not getting to that. Okay, that's it. Have a great night. See you soon. I don't know what else to say. Stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And we'll see you very shortly. And Matt can say goodnight, and then we're going to go.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for putting up with me and my babbling and whatever. So if I offended anybody tonight, I'm sorry. Have a good night, everybody. And I just got to find where my cursor is, and then I can click out.